In this video, we'll be hunting 2 boxes of pennies. We'll of course be looking for any wheat cents from 1958 or earlier, and we'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, heirs or varieties, or any other cool things we can find, as well as setting aside any copper we find and seeing how much we can fill the copper jar. There is one ender in these 2 boxes, if you haven't noticed it already. It's actually a pretty interesting one. Looks like we have some sort of gold-colored or gold-plated penny in box number 1, so that's definitely an interesting ender. Hopefully it's a good sign for the hunt. So let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Roll number 9, and we're going to have the first find of the hunt. Just laid out the roll, and I see the edge of our first wheat cent. And it is... oh, it's a 1938 from Philly. I thought based on the wear it wasn't going to be that old, but it's actually just a pretty nice 38 Philly. That's a great find to start off the hunt. Next roll, and we have the first foreign of the box, and it looks like it's going to be a Canadian right here. And it is, and it's from 1980. Once again, next roll, and we're going to have another Canadian cent. And this one is right here. And it is a 1993. Roll number 12, and now we're 3 rolls in a row with a Canadian. This time it's right here. And it's a modern one, and it is a 2010. Roll 15 was that gold-plated ender of some sort. And here it is. It's a 1982D, it looks like. And don't know if it's painted or plated or what, but it's pretty beat up. So don't know why someone would do this. No, not really worth anything, but still an interesting find. And a couple coins behind it, we have the second wheat cent. See the date. In 1953 Denver. Roll 20, and we're going to have wheat cent number 3 of the hunt. Only a few coins into the roll right here. It's pretty good shape, probably going to be newer. And it is a 1956 Denver. When I looked at that 1956D wheat cent a little closer, I knew something was a little off with the mint mark. And as you can see, it's definitely an RPM. You can definitely see that strong repunchment mark to the left of the D. And it turned out to be the FS501, the main RPM from 1956D. As you can see, it is the same kind of RPM as the one that I have. I'll put mine back up on the screen. And yeah, definitely the same RPM. Unfortunately, of course, at the time of recording this, this is the time that PCGS Coinfax is down, so I can't get a price guide on it. If it's back by the time I'm done with this video, then I'll show that at the end. But 1956D RPM FS501, that is an awesome find. Roll 31, and we're finally going to have the 4th wheat cent of the box. And it's right here near the back of the roll. And this one is a 1945 Denver. Roll 35, and we're going to have Canadian cent number 4 of the box, and it is right here. And this time it is a 1992 commemorative. Roll 40, and we're going to have Canadian cent number 5 of the hunt, and it is right here. And it is a 1978. Roll 46, and we're going to have another Canadian cent, and this will be the 6th foreign of the hunt. And it is right here at the beginning of the roll. And this one is a 1973. Roll 48, and we're going to get the 5th wheat cent of the box, and it's the second one from the 30s. It's a 1937 out of Philly. Always great to see another 30s wheat cent, even though it's a common date. And hopefully the next box can have more wheat cents than this first one, since it's been pretty light overall. That was all the finds for the first box, and to be honest, overall it was pretty light. We ended up with 5 wheat cents, including 2 from the 30s, and that 1956D FS501 RPM, which was probably the best find of the box for sure. And then we got 6 Canadians, that gold-plated that was an ender, and then this 2009. Looks like it's some sort of DDR, but I couldn't find it anywhere. It's a Denver. You can see that extra metal below his finger, but I don't know. Might not be a variety. Just going to set it aside anyways. So let's go on to box number 2, and hopefully we can get some more good finds. First roll of the second box. Just opened the roll, and I see the edge of another wheat cent right here. Great way to start the second box. And this one is a 1957 Denver. Roll 5 of the second box, and we have the second wheat cent of this box, and it's another one from the 50s, a 1952 Denver. Roll 9, and we have the first foreign of the second box, and of course, it's a Canadian cent. It's one of those ones with the odd edge, and it is a 1996. Just open the next roll after that Canadian, and we have another wheat cent. So this is the third cent for the second box, and it is right here, and it is a 1944 Denver. Roll 12, and we have the fourth wheat cent of the second box. Just uncovered it. It's pretty damaged by the reverse. Hopefully that means it's a little bit older. Probably not, though. And looks like a 1940-something S. And yeah, it's pretty hard to see. It looks like a 1948 S would be my best guess, but it's pretty damaged. Doesn't really matter. Still, it's another wheat cent. Next roll, just uncovered yet another wheat cent, and this one is the oldest of the hunt so far, and it has a mint mark. It is a 1930 from Denver. Actually, it's in pretty good shape for being a 1930. All the wheat stalks are there, all the details there. 1930 Denver, I don't think it's a better date or anything, but still, 1930D, that's an awesome find. Roll 14, just open the roll, and we're going to have another Canadian cent. It's another one of those ones with the odd edge from the 80s or 90s. And this one is another 1992 commemorative. Roll 15, and we're going to have yet another find for this box. This box has been pretty hot so far, and this one is another wheat cent. I see the edge near the back of the roll right here. And this one is a 1958 Denver. Roll 17, yet another Canadian cent. This one is right here in this roll. And this time, it's a 1993. Roll 19, and we have another wheat cent for box number 2. Obverse facing, just a few coins in. This one, a 1942 out of Denver. Roll 21, and we have yet another wheat cent. This one, I see the edge right here. And this one is a 1955 Denver. Roll 25, halfway point of box 2, and just open the roll. We have a foreign and a wheat cent in the same roll. Foreign is right here. It looks like a Canadian cent, and it is. And this one is a 1997. And then the wheat cent is right here. And it is a 1942 Philly. Same roll, and we have another find in that same roll, and it is another wheat cent. This one is a pretty worn 1945 San Francisco. Roll 31, and we just beat the record for the oldest wheat cent of the hunt so far. Just uncovered, a 1919 out of Philly, over 100 years old. It is a common date, and it's not super rare or anything. I mean, rare to find in circulation for sure. That's a great find. Roll 33, and we have another Canadian cent, and this one's another one right here. And this one is a 1991. Roll 34, and I just found something that I've never found before. It's just this 1983 penny, and I went to check it for the DDR, and I flipped it over, and it doesn't flip right. This is what's known as a die rotation error, where it just doesn't flip like it's supposed to. It's not like a super major one, it's not backwards or anything, it's just a little off, but never found one of these before. Don't really look for them, but I'll definitely be keeping this one. That's an awesome find. Roll 35, just open the roll, and I see the edge of another wheat cent right in the middle, right here. And this one is a 1956 Denver. Just opened roll 40, and I see the edge of another foreign, and it's another Canadian cent, of course, and it's right here. And this one is a 1978. Roll 41, just open the roll, see the edge of yet another wheat cent. It's this dark colored edge right here. And this one is a 1952 Denver. Next roll, and we have yet another Canadian cent, and this one is right here. And it's a little corroded, but this one is, it's a little corroded. Hard to tell the date. Might be a 2000, but doesn't really matter. Once again, next roll, just open the roll, and we have another find. This time it's going to be another wheat cent right here. And this one is a 1949 Denver. Roll 46, just uncovered, another wheat cent. And this one is another 1945 Denver. Roll 48, just uncovered, yet another wheat cent. And this one is a 1954 minted in Denver. Same roll, just uncovered, yet another wheat cent. It's another one from the 50s. This one, a 1950 out of Philly. Roll 49, and the box isn't done yet because I just uncovered yet another wheat cent. This one is a 1951 Denver in pretty good shape. Just open the last roll. Might have one last find if there's nothing else after this. And I see the edge of a Canadian right here. And this one is a 1989. Both boxes have been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up with 14 1959s, 26 Espents, and 33 2009s. Foreigns, we got 14, all were Canadian, ranging from 1973 through 2010, and I did clean up that corroded one a little bit, ended up being a 1999. Got quite a few miscellaneous finds this hunt. We had that 1982D odd gold-plated ender that's damaged, which is really odd. Got this super beat-up 1960D small date, but it is the small date, so I do set those aside. And then we got that 2009 in the first box. Might be a DDR, I'm not sure. Probably not. And then that second box, we did get this 1983 die rotation error, which is pretty cool. Never found one of these in any denomination, so that's a great find. And then wheat cents, we ended up with 23 for the two boxes, which is pretty good. Pretty much all of them are common dates, but we did get a few in the 30s, a 1938, a 1937, a 1930 Denver, and the oldest of the hunt was a 1919 Philly, which, even though it's a common year, any teens wheat cent is a great find. And then for copper, we ended up with almost a full jar, just a little bit to go, but overall, good on copper for the hunt. And the find of the hunt was that 1956 D over D RPM. I think it was the FS501. I did look at the value, not a super valuable coin, probably about a $10 coin in this condition because it is circulated, but still, that is an awesome find to find an RPM on a wheat cent, and it's a major variety. So, overall, this was a great penny hunt.